Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I thought that I would just wish you a Happy New Year. And I was watching some of my native feeds that I get, and there was a tribal girl there. That's my Oka Numpally talking water mug. It's got happy birthday inside of it. I got given it. How nice is that? Hello, whoever that person is. I can see someone's popped up. I've popped on with a bit of native ceremony actually for the new year, which I thought that I would share with you guys. I see people doing a lot of smudging and things like this, and I especially see it in what they call the New Age realm or whatever. I see them using a lot of smudge. And for those of you that don't know what smudge is, or for those of you that don't really hold any ceremony with it when you do it, I thought that I would show you what it's all about, basically, or what my medicine taught me. Hi, Helen. Hi, Peter. Hi, Stephen. Hi, James. I just thought I'd pop on here to tell you something that my medicine man had taught me, which I found really strengthening, really important for so many ways. So a bit more than a 5-minute thing, but not that long really. For those of you that are interested in smudging and ceremony and stuff like that, I was watching I think it was Shinabi tribe lady. It was on my native feeds that I get, and she was saying, it was put to people that were non-native, basically. She was saying to them how to do smudging and what it was all about. And I kind of wish that I'd videoed it and then given you feedback to everything that she'd said, because we're not all the same, actually. There's like nearly 600 tribes or something, native tribes in America, of Native Americans. Hi, Julia. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Savannah. And we all do things a little bit differently. A lot of things cross over between tribes, but a lot doesn't as well. Or we all have different ways of doing it. So I thought for the new year, hi Ricky, for the new year I was going to smudge. One of the things about smudging is that it's about cleansing your new space and cleansing. I don't know about you guys, but last night I got a little bit messy. Only a little bit. But now we're in for a new year and some new times. So I want to clean out all that bad energy and bring in all that good energy, clean up that negative energy, but bringing in the good energy. So I've got some things with me. One of them is a smudge stick. So here's my smudge stick. So this is sage, and this is used for cleansing. People over here in England tend to think that it's for everything. We actually use different herbs for different purposes. So another herb that I've got with me, one I made earlier, is sweetgrass. Now this is my favourite. It smells so good. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen natives wearing little medicine bags around their neck, but they wear medicine bags, so when we do sweat lodge and stuff, we put these medicine bags on the altar, and they get blessed and prayed for. And it's really lovely, because every time you put that medicine bag back onto you, you can still smell that place of prayer, that connection with higher spirit, creator, whatever it is. So I find when I'm driving along, for instance, and I can be quite a driver. Grew up with the boy racers in the country, what can I say? Yeah, used to give them all a kiss as I drove off past them. All the other girls were just trying to hitch a ride. Not this girl here. Anyway, so when I drive around, and if I get a little bit frustrated with other drivers and stuff like that, I take a little smell of that medicine bag, and it puts me straight back into that place of prayer, which helps me get through life, basically, in lots of different ways. But one of the things that we do is we smudge ourselves and we smudge our houses, and there's a way in which that we do it. So for those of you that are interested in smudging and ceremony, I just thought that I would explain a little bit, not too much, to you now. So I've got the sage, hi Alexa, and I've got the sweetgrass. Alexa, I was talking to you about native stuff. What I'm doing is I'm showing some native ceremony at the moment for New Year. I watched a tribal girl, she was from a different tribe to me, on one of my natives feeds, talking about smudging and the right and wrong ways to do it, and how a lot of the new age people were doing this smudging, but they weren't really realising the purpose or the ceremony behind it. So I'm not going to tell you everything, because that's not how we do it, and we wait for people to come to us and find out more. But I thought I'd show you a little something, because I watched this video and I really wished, I said earlier, I really wished I had this video so that I could play it at the same time whilst giving feedback to you about what my thoughts and opinions were on it. Yes, I'm a girl in England with an English accent, but this girl was born in Oklahoma, was born native. You can take the girl out of Oklahoma, but you can't take the Oklahoma out of the girl, and that's just the way it is. So we're going to do some ceremony. So I've got a little candle, actually, that my friend Alison made me for Christmas, which I really love. We did some gardening in her house, and I was talking about making some of these for Christmas, and she made me one which is really lovely. She's drilled a hole in it. Let's see if I'll show you, to put the tea light in, and underneath it's metal so that it doesn't, it doesn't set up on fire. So basically I'm going to light this candle first, because we never ever, if we can, we don't light our herbs with a lighter. We light it with a fire that we've already made, or match, something like that, not lighter. Anyway, and then I'm going to use a bowl. I've lost my shell at the moment because I've been going around doing different sort of ceremony things and whatever. But so I'm using a bowl. This is a clay bowl, which is, so we normally use copper bowls, clay bowls, or shells, and that's what we use as a bowl to put our herbs in when we smudge. So here's my clay bowl that my daughter made me. So how lovely is that? That's perfect. So I've got the fire by where can you see fire burning from my friend, candle from my daughter, and then what I'm going to do is try and set this up, lean in so that you can kind of see me. There we go. Well, I've got a big light above me, sorry about that. So here's my sage, and I'm going to pull off some of the sage, not burn it from the sage stick. I'm going to pull some off and put it in my bowl. You can't really see me putting it in my bowl, but I'm putting it in my bowl. I don't know where I can stand you that would be a little bit better. I'm going to see if I can improve matters. No, I don't think I can. Sorry. Right, but anyway, I'm getting some sage and I'm putting it in my bowl. And then I'm going to get some sweetgrass. So that's my sage. So my sage is for cleansing. So one of the things that we say, waffling all about, one of the things that we say is that you can digest it, you can smoke it, you can burn it. Sometimes you can put it in a roll up or something if you wanted to, have a little bit of cleansing through your breathing. You could make a tea from it, but here we're smoking it. It's antiseptic. Cleansing is about cleansing the area, cleansing it spiritually. We have 4 herbs that we particularly use. I've just got 2 with me today, which are kind of my favourites. I have got some cedar somewhere, I don't know where, but anyway, this is what I'm doing with you, is the sweetgrass and the sage. So hi Lam, Stuart, Sean, I'm showing some native ceremony today. I know a lot of people do what they call smudging, and I saw a native person talking to non-natives about it, saying that they didn't really understand the ceremony, and that some people are saying as well about appropriation. I personally don't agree with that around burning smudge. I think it's for everybody, myself. We're very careful about what we teach prayer-wise and stuff like that. However, I think the time has come, for all people to unite, basically. So that's why I'm showing you a little bit, just a little bit of what our ceremony is. So what I've done is I've got my bowl, I've put my sage in it for my cleansing, and now I'm going to put some sweetgrass in it. And now the sweetgrass is for the connection to higher power, creator. It smells lush. It's one of my favourite smells in the world. Sweetgrass. Right, anyway, so I'll prop you back up here. So I'm going to get some of my sweetgrass and I'm going to put it in my bowl. I'm making a right old mess here. Would you expect anything less from me? Anyway, right, so after you've put your sage and your sweetgrass in your bowl, well, I have a thing called a prayer fan. Now, others of you probably won't have a prayer fan. I was very honoured. I was gifted this, which looks a state now because it's old. Eagle feather, Choctaw beaded prayer fan. It's made from elk skin, which I absolutely love. It's like the softest skin. Make a lot of sort of moccasins and stuff from that as well. Anyway, with the prayer fan, that's how we're going to move the smoke about. So the first thing that we do is that we bless. So if you don't have a prayer fan, you can just use a feather, preferably one that's important to you, or perhaps one that you've been given, or something like that. One that you spent some prayer with or some time with. Something like that. I mean, you can never really compare it properly, I guess, but anyway, I'm going to prop you over here so that you've got a better look-see, hopefully, of what I'm doing. For those of you that are interested. Right, so I've got my prayer fan, I've got my clay bowl, and inside of it I've got my sage and my sweetgrass. Then we're going to light it. So I've got my candle over here, not a lighter. And I'm just going to light this quickly. I have to do it slightly out of reach. Sorry. I'm going to light this. Lovely. Two seconds. I'm just lighting up the sage and the sweetgrass. That smell, God. That's what I mean. Just takes you to that place of prayer. So lovely. So then what I'm going to do is I put my fan over, where's the smoke bowl? I can't see it from here. Over the smoke bowl. So I just run my fan over it, both sides, cleansing the fan with some prayer. Now, the words of prayer that we use, I mean, obviously you could do it in your native language, but the words of prayer that we use are these. I mean, they do change slightly. So we start off, I'm going to have to stand up now. We start off by gathering that smoke and placing it on our feet. And we're placing it on our feet for our journey. And the footsteps we take, may we walk in beauty on this earth, and may our journey be a good one. So that's the first step, is on our feet. Then we move the smoke. I'm gathering more now, and we waft it on our legs for the strength to carry that journey. I'm getting more smoke now. I'm going to start in the front because I'm in front of you, but it's not normally how I go. But then I'm coming up my legs to my stomach. Waft the smoke into my stomach so that all that I put inside of this sacred temple will be good for me and good for the earth. May it all have been blessed and prayed for in gratitude for it. I'm gathering more smoke to bring up to my heart. May my heart always be pure. To my mouth. May I always speak right. More smoke. To my shoulders. For my shoulders hold all of my responsibilities. May I be able to handle my responsibilities well. And the next place I'm going to do it is down my arms, for reaching out. May I never feel too strong that I won't reach out for help for myself. And may I always reach out to help others. There's one arm done. I have to do the other one. Hang on a minute. I'm doing the other one. You see all the smoke down my arm for reaching out to others and for myself. Right, now the next bit that I'm going to do is down to my hands. So gathering up more smoke. It's coming at you with the phone as well. Around my hands for the work that I do. May I always help myself and others. May I always be in harmony. And there's one hand done, I'm going to do the other hand. In actual fact, I'm going to start a little bit more fire up on there, just quickly. I like it to be a really nice smell, for it to really get into my senses. Obviously, I'm doing this ceremony in English for you, and quite loosely, but this is the intention of smoking this, smudging this, what we're meant to do in a native. I'm doing my other hand for the work that I do. May it help myself and others and be in harmony with the earth. Okay, so I'm gathering up more smoke. And I'm coming to my eyes. May I always see straight. I'm coming to my ears. May I always be able to listen. I'm coming up to the top of my head. A bit like chakras, we have where the crown is, where you're born. In your head you have a spiral power switch on, connection to higher, connection to creator. Both with the cleansing of the sage and the sweetgrass, with the connection. You're cleansing and connecting at the same time with these two. Now more smoke. I'm going down the back of my body now. If I was stood in front of my medicine man, I would be stood here with my arms out to the side of me whilst he did this for me. He taught me many things because I live in England. A lot of women wouldn't hold sweat lodges and stuff like that, but because I'm in England on my own, I've been taught. I'm very fortunate, really. So I'm going back down to my feet for the path that I walk. May it always be the right one. May I always walk in beauty. I'm coming back up the back of my legs for the strength in my walk. May I always have strength in the journey that I take. I'm gathering up more smoke. A prayer fan here for those that have just joined. And I'm going to bring this smoke to my bottom for the people that I sit with. May it be good for us both. So more smoke on my bottom. And gathering more smoke, I'm going to put that up and down my spine. My medicine man gave my mother a key ring, and it is a mouse's backbone. To remember that even a mouse has a backbone. That's what we remember whilst we do our back. Even a mouse has a backbone. We are warriors. Tushkahoma, red warrior here. Oh, so up the back, and now more smoke coming back to my shoulders so that I may hold all my responsibilities well. I love that smell. And back down along my arms for me being able to reach out and helping others with the power of reaching out too. I have to put you down while I do the other arm. I just wanted you guys to know what the ceremony was behind this smudging. There's so much more to it, and I will tell you a bit more in a minute. This is my other arm for reaching out and to get others to reach out too. Now I'm coming to my hands for the work that I do. I'm going to set a little bit more fire up on here. Hi Becky, Yes, come over and do this. I will smudge you. I will smudge you all in a true ceremonial way. Ain't no hippies in this house. No, I'm a bit hippie. Onto the hands for the work that I do. Now we're coming up the back of the head, back to the Creator. Okay, luscious. So when we smudge ourselves, this is the prayer in which we tell ourselves, and we offer out some smoke and some tobacco, maybe some water, as a gift of honouring us with this cleanse and with our journey on this earth, and so that we may be able to walk in beauty and harmony with all of those around us, almost a bit like a Buddhist way, really. But then what we do is we smoke up the sage even more, and we take it especially around the doors and the windows of our homes. I'm doing the door at the moment. The front door is the most important, really. Normally I would carry my bowl with me. I can't because you guys are here. You would want to do it around your doors, your windows, above your bed, each corner of the room, all for the cleansing. And like I say, it's not just the sage. The sage is cleansing, yes, but the sweetgrass to me is the most important one, because that is your connection to your higher self, your higher purpose, your Creator, your walk. Anyway, I just thought that I would show you. So for those of you that have just shown up, hi Willow, we need to go out in nature together and do this one day. Absolutely, let's do this. I have this and so much more to show you. Oh, I'm glad you say it's interesting, Becky. I just really wanted to show this stuff to you because I was watching, I know a lot of people are going to be cleansing for the new year, and I was watching a native person describing this and to people that were non-natives, and I feel like she told them very little information, actually, and what she did tell them I didn't necessarily agree with, but like I say, she was from another tribe. She only smudged around her head, and when she was saying around the house, she wasn't really mentioning how important it was to go around doorways and windows and the openings to your house. So I'm going to climb around my house and show you some stuff now. So normally by the door or the entrance to your encampment, I'm climbing up on the sofa now, you would have two mandalas. So this is a mandala. This is an eagle on there. I'll tell you a story, right? I was gifted that by a native over in Oklahoma at the Big Choctaw Festival. But I'll tell you a story, right, for those of you that are lost soldiers. So 20 years ago, I was a crack and smackhead for about 10 years. And I struggled so much to get off of it. It wasn't just that I was naughty or whatever, and I don't believe that that's the case for anybody. What had happened to me is I'd had a really hard life, and the final capsule on it, I suppose, was being raped outside the train station on the main road in Taunton in my school uniform. And I found it very difficult. My father was missing, a lot like a lot of native fathers, and he actually lived under a bridge for 2 years. He was on crank. I mean, we're talking proper Breaking Bad, and I always wanted to be closer to him, and I suppose one way that I thought that could happen was through drugs, which was a silly idea, but I mean, I did get to understand him better. But yeah, it got to a point where it just became so bad, and I started on heroin, and I went into crack and all of that as well, and it became so bad. And I went through several different rehabs and stuff like this, and actually the last rehab that I went to was the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma rehab. I knew when I was in England, in the last English rehab, I knew that there was a missing jigsaw piece puzzle inside of me, that nobody here could understand. And I knew that I needed to go. Funny enough, it had just popped up into my life, this Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma rehab. And then I had some money pop up from my granddad dying. And it's so sad, really, because he made me promise that I would always stay with my family. And I am so loyal, I can't even tell you. Warrior all the way. But I knew for me to be there for my family that I needed to go to that Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma rehab. And when I did, I met my medicine man, funny enough. But before I went there, I was meditating every night. I'd already been in the NA fellowship, and I was meditating every night as to what I needed to do, and I was doing it in a native way, which is how they it's almost like you put a blank screen, like a big cinema screen, in front of your eyes, and whatever arises. I mean, often the meditation thought over here or Eastern ways says, you know, whatever arises, see it as bubbles and let it float off, but not the natives. They take signs from it. I mean, it's all quite in depth, really, but mine, always the same thing would happen in this meditation, where I was over on a mountain. I knew I was in America on a mountain, which I thought was strange because I'm from Oklahoma, the plains. I was on a mountain. And in this mountain, I would stand at the top, and an eagle would fly over me. And there was all these other animals as well that had gathered, who also have different meanings. But an eagle would fly over me, and I would fly with it, and we'd turn into a plane. And I thought, as we went over England, that we would come down, but we didn't. And we kept going around the earth. And one of the things that I learnt from that was that our home is under the same sky. Which is one thing my medicine man used to say, you know, that we talked via stars and stuff, to the point where he even rang me up when my granddad had died. The minute that he died and I'd gone out for a cigarette, and he rang me up, and the first words he said was, I hear the thundering of hooves and the full colours racing by and the cheers and the hollering as your grandfather goes to meet his creator. I hadn't even said hello. He didn't even know I had a granddad, didn't even know he was ill, but we're speaking via the stars. We all live on the same planet. We're far more connected than what we think we are. But anyway, so this eagle, he would come over me in the meditation, and this stuff happened. Anyway, then I end up, I don't know, a week or so later, went over, booked my place, went over to Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma rehab. It was in Tallahena. I had a friend over there who picked me up and went for a big ride in his big monster truck, like on the thing and everything, you know, loving it. Anyway, he dropped me at rehab, and as you do. And when I got there, I was still clucking. I mean, you had to be drug free to get there. You had to actually have done your cluck, but you know, the rehab was the sort of healing of, I suppose, over there. So I was still feeling rough. I had to travel, I think it's 37 hours straight, from trains, planes and automobiles to get to where I come from, in the middle of the Wild West, you know. That's where I'm from, and it's really hard to get there, and it was really hard to get there real fast when my father died as well. But anyway, so I got there, and when I got there, I was so tired and ill and not feeling good at all, just wanted to go to bed. And Sam Rivers, he says to me, well, you know, you're here and we're all going on a hike up the mountain. A mountain? What the hell? We're in Oklahoma. It turns out Tallahena has mountains. And anyway, I end up having to walk up this mountain, and we're walking up through all these pine trees and all this, and I'm a huffing and puffing, you know. I'm not feeling fit at all. And funny enough, the walk up the mountain was called Meditation Walk. And then what did I see when I got to the top finally? That eagle flied over my head, and I seen some of the other animals. And one of the things that my medicine man taught me was that eagle represents spiritual freedom. Everybody always wants to say that their guardian animal or whatever is the eagle. It's very rare that this is actually the case, true. You know, it's like when people have their past lives things. You never hear them saying that they were some common girl wearing sacking or whatever. They're normally Cleopatra or a Red Indian or something. It's a joke to us natives. But, yeah, so this had happened. The eagle had gone over my head, and I've been clean off of heroin and smack ever since. And Sammy said to me that the eagle brought me spiritual freedom, which was such a great honour. And it was such a great honour to get given the name that I was given as well. Oka Numpali, talking water. Water always finds its path and is a giver of life. And that's pretty amazing. You see a lot of things coming up around lots of subjects. I could go on forever and ever and ever. But anyway, my point was, Sam over in the Choctaw Nation, he adopted me, gave me a house over there, bless him. I could stay in whenever I wanted and taught me stuff because there's not many other Choctaws over here. Like I say, I'm the only one that can really hold a sweat lodge for myself and all that kind of stuff. So I was very blessed like that. And I found my missing jigsaw piece anyway. And like I say, I've been clean off of heroin and crack for 20 years now. Pretty impressive. I mean, I'm no angel, obviously, but you know, I'm a lot better than what things used to be like. And one of the things that helped me through that 20-year journey was the smudging and the meditating and the sweat lodges and the humour, the prayer, the connection, that time of day. And that's when I started this, was when it just started to get dark. So when it just starts to get light in the morning, it's a good time for prayer. When the sun comes down at night, it's a good time to pray. So they say. We also have another saying, it's a good day to die. And that sounds awful, but it's actually a really good thing. It's a good day to die means I'm going to meet you in my full colours. I'm going to meet Creator in my full colours. Treat every day as if it's your last day. Stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Anyway, Happy New Year, peeps. And I hope maybe this was interesting to you to learn a little bit about the smudge and the prayer that we say to ourselves and for others when we're doing it for them. And a little bit about what that means. I mean, like I say, I haven't gone too far into it because that's not how we really do it with native things. We wait for people to really put that investment forward of interest, really. But me being a loudmouth and all that, I thought... you know, and especially in these times as well, these really difficult times that we're in, I think it's really important to spread some of that knowledge and share some of our healings on the medicine wheel. So I have a medicine wheel, lots of them that I do my native hope with the red, white, the black, the yellow, the 4 directions, the 4 wheels, the mind, body, spirit, intellect, so much more, God. But we have the 4 people from the 4 colours of the earth: the red people, the white people, the black people, the yellow people. So they would say yellow as in Asian, red as in native, white as in white. What have I missed out? Black as in black. And each would have medicine. So if we had a powwow, we'd have a circle meeting, no corners for anybody to hide in, and we would bring a chief of each of these colours so that we get more of a holistic idea for ourselves and the earth that we're living on. So I myself, I mean, I was always really into RE and all that, and you know, learned Buddhist ways. I did Reiki, that would be considered yellow, you know, all sorts of different things I've done. I've loved learning different drums from Africa with black medicine and the dance and all of that. You know, obviously I'm living in England, so I've come across a lot of white medicine. And I'm born red. Well, born red and white and pink, really. Pink to make the boys weak, that's what my nan would say. No, that's not a good thing either, really. I mean, the red people, we talk about, I say red people, native people, we talk about MMIW a lot because, you know, you'd considered exotic a lot if you're native, and we've got the highest numbers of rape and all that across all of the women in all of the cultures across all of the world. I think it's a bit like back in Victorian type times, or whenever it was, you know, they start getting the exotic fruits, the pineapples, the, you know, what all the tulips. Do you know they were the most expensive thing in the world at one point? Because exotic, again, you know, we have to get rid of this illusion of exotic. And why do we not think that we are exotic? It's like when I talk to, you know, white people, and they'll say, oh, well, you know, we don't have any history. Are you freaking kidding me? You know, we're all here. We're still all here from the get-go, and we've all got that history. So you in whose army? You and your ancestors. Anyway, we made it. We're into 2020, you and your army. I'm sending you all love. Yeah, cookie. Thank you.